The issue of being able to carry guns into particular places is a situation that I want to have. I want restrictions upon that. I want restrictions upon that for a couple of reasons. One, I want any security that happens to be there or any authorities that happen to be there to be awfully suspicious of anyone carrying a gun into a church, a bar, or a school. All right, I want that to be an actual issue that comes up, that those people are paid high attention to when one carries them in a situation like that. And the second thing is that restricting that does make them safer. All right? If a teacher's having a bad day at a child, I don't want them having access to a gun. If a principal's about to get fired, I don't want to have them having access to a gun. If a janitor's come on and had a bad day, I don't want to have them access to a gun. I certainly don't want their immediate reaction and emotional reaction. All right? You're saying that criminals take the path of least resistance. I'm arguing it's not a rational choice most of the time. Anybody that starts to shoot up a place is not making a rational decision. All right? They're making an emotional one. If a janitor's having a bad day and has access to a gun, I don't want him to be in the school with it. Well, I don't want him to be illegally in the school with it.
Well, you have to look at it when it comes to someone carrying such as a school. I would argue that it would be up to the school then to decide the policy of whether or not teachers will be allowed to carry guns. For instance, the school could put in place barriers saying, well, you have to have these tests done, you have to do, you have to have a concealed carry, clean record, things like that. And also, things such as someone just pulling out a gun and shooting someone, perhaps maybe there should be restrictions. Or, and some people have the fear of possibly students grabbing the gun and shooting another person, possibly having it being an anonymous carry with someone who's actually trusted. I mean, a teacher is really no different than a police officer if the teacher is actually trained to own and wield a firearm.
A teacher is completely different than a police officer, even if they've had a small amount of training. There's a difference between me and a stock car driver. A stock car driver does it for a living. I know how to drive a car because I can parallel park. All right. Well, the difference between a teacher that's trained and a police officer that does it on a constant basis is
there are many private citizens who have plenty of training on firearms who could shoot just as good, if not better, than police officers. And to say that a police officer in and itself is a much more trustworthy person than a teacher is kind of disingenuous.
I'm not saying that they're more trustworthy. I'm saying that they have the responsibility the teacher does not. It's the responsibility of the police officers and the law enforcement force to enforce the law and to maintain the peace. It's not the teacher's job. The teacher's job is education. The school's job is education. They are not, and private citizens are not vigilantes. They should not carry guns. They should not enforce the law on their own, and they should not have that responsibility or be given it.